In the building. If this was a church service, I would say, I don't know what you come to do. I know what I'm here for. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night. We are in the house. We are in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time one more time for the Cowboys OG podcast, in which you got three of these guys here that love the Dallas Cowboys and here to talk a little football with you guys about what we seen during the week. And it may not be what you heard from everywhere else. We just might pick up something just to say something. You know, that's just how we roll. And if you don't like it, we do. So it don't matter. You know, it's fit to get ignorant. We don't know what it is. I feel ignorance in my system. I don't know how Joe and B-Bird feel about it, but I got some ignorance in me tonight. So I think this might be in rare form. I need you guys to share. Do that now, wherever you're watching from. If you're on all the channels, go ahead and share it out to Cowboy groups, Cowboy fans, Cowboy haters, everything. Do that for us. Let's have a nice little discussion. However long we together, we just have to have a little fun today.
Yeah.
With same crew, it never changes. Let's go ahead and start from the top. You see who he is. By now, you ought to know him. The one and only Cowboy Joe, my fraternity brothers in the building. What up, Noop?
What's up, Noops? Shout out to all of the Noops across the world.
Yes,
and glad to be back on with you guys. I wonder if Kels is lurking tonight like she was last
she
Friday.
will be probably.
Just dropping the fire.
Yeah.
So I did I kind of connected with her a little bit, and so we friends now, and she chimed in on me and Jules' show the other night. So shout out to her.
She knows she does that. She will crash your show.
Oh man, she was terrific. We had her on in the chat, and hey man, you know she puts a new light on some things for us, and you know we was on Will McClay's trail, you know.
Yeah.
And she kind of backed us off a little bit.
That's our guy.
Yeah, I know. So we gonna be nicer to Will McClay because of Kels. So how about that? So I'm gonna start with that.
I tell Kels that you got my phone number. We text and all that. I'll tell her quick.
So there you go.
Will can get some of this work too. It just ain't no doubt about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe in the building, as you can see, right there in the middle of the glue, as I like to call him, the one and only. Put your hands together. B-Bird is in the building.
Hey man, look, I was just thinking that Christian, our new defensive coordinator, I think it's Christian Parker, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, he hadn't had his press conference yet, but I think he's a noob, right?
He is.
Well, he can have it right here on the OG podcast, man. Let's invite him over here to do it over here. Y'all got to have some kind of connection there, right?
I don't know him personally, but I put him on the shield quick.
Yeah.
I put him on. Look here now. There's another level to this thing, so at least I'm gonna get some type of conversation with him. At least.
Hey man, you know what though too? I just thought about it too. I think one of our segments ought to be, what do we feel about Will McClay? That's a good one. Now. So let's think about that for a moment.
Yeah, well, hold on to that. Hold on to that, because I got something else. For if we start talking about the staff and everything.
Yeah.
Y'all know me, big time. Hey, what's up? That's all I got to say about that. Hello to everybody in the chat. Olivia, who's on somebody's channel. LOL, gang. Hello to you. Easton Allen, Robert King, my brother, what's up? Okay, King of Gold, what's up? Jules is in the building, better known as Tell You What. He's in the building over there. We appreciate you. Marlon, my friend for over 30 some odd years, is in the building. He kind of like Kels, y'all. He used to do this type of stuff. Back in the day, he was on the radio. And he's a wealth of information. Marlon Haynes is. Former coach in football as well. Has family that is actually Chad. Forgive me for not know his last name, but was general manager of the not general manager, but assistant general manager, I think, of the Ravens. Am I right, Marlon?
Wow.
I think he's trying to be with the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marlon, on that. I think I'm wrong. But wealth of knowledge. The only problem with my friend, and I can say this, is that he has the takeover spirit too. It'll be my show, but hell, I'll never be able to get a chance to say nothing. So that's how he is. I mean, I love him to death. We have some of the greatest debates during the week on football, and that's why he's here with you. I guarantee you'll see in the chat in a minute. Let's go ahead and just get it crunk. I don't know what my brother's gonna talk about, but we're all so driven and deep into Cowboy football that it makes no difference what somebody's gonna talk about. we're already ready to talk about it. I guarantee it. Just watch. Joe always leads it off, and he always come out swinging too. So he ain't no telling what he finna say. Joe, you got the dance flow. Dance, my brother.
So the first thing I'm a shout out Marlon. So I still got ice in my driveway of Marlon. I ain't figured out why yet. So it's supposed to have been gone like 2 or 3 days ago. So we'll figure it out tomorrow.
Wow.
And the other thing I was gonna say, now the Ravens is one of my favorite front offices. So you need to come get a job with Dallas. Maybe you can turn this thing around.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about the coaching situation, and I think they still trying to interview a couple of guys. It's been quite a bit of movement in the NFL, just pretty much. And one of the things we're gonna talk about, hopefully, man, this league is a microwave league now. B-Bird, you don't have 2 or 3 years to do anything.
No.
People getting fired left and right. Coaches.
There he is. I'm sorry, I called the wrong team out. Let me stop. This is what he
Chargers.
was.
Okay.
He was with the assistant GM with the Chargers. He is the assistant GM with the Chargers right now. So
okay.
I don't know. I think I've spoken to Chad myself maybe once, I believe. And who knows? They end up sliding him on here, and Marlon will be the bridge for that. Who knows? But anyway, I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No worries. And so, we just saw Coach Mentor, the Michigan guy, lead the Chargers and go to the Ravens, right?
Yes.
So we got that full connection there. So I like the Chargers front office too. I like Harbaugh. I actually like Jim better than John. I'm not that concerned about John being in the NFC East. I would be more concerned about Jim, but we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Chargers too as well.
Wow. All right. Is that what you wanted to lead off with, Joe? You gonna swing it back around?
That's my lead.
Okay, go ahead, B-Bird. What you got to talk about, man?
Well, man, we got. Let's just say this because we talked about this beforehand. I think that I'm learning about Christian Parker as we go. Right, I didn't know a lot about him. I'm not going to even lie and say I did. Mm-hmm. But everything I've been listening to is good. We kind of went outside the box on this hire. It's kind of a type that the Cowboys like. That they think is successful. They kind of went outside that. I think that's good. I think the bigger you make your pool, the better. But me and Big Time talked about this off. I'll take y'all to Vrabel's getting a lot of credit for New England Patriots, and as he should, because they turned that team around from 4-13 to I think they was 13-4 this year, back into the Super Bowl. But what people aren't talking a lot about is they signed $350 million in free agent contracts in the offseason. Wow. So not only do they handle the coaching side, so it's different things on here, right? You got the coaching, you got the owner, the GM, and you got the players. Mm-hmm. If you just attack one of them, right? Like I'm gonna tell you something else. Let me just say this too. People might be like, hey, leave an offense alone. The offense is good enough. That don't mean you don't look at it. Don't mean that you if it's a tackle out there that's better than the tackles you got, that don't mean you don't upgrade. You are always supposed to be trying to upgrade, man, in every position. And so I just think that, we got a coach, a defensive coach, but let's not stop there. Now we got to start addressing some of these players. Are they the right fit for this coach? Or are we just hanging on to guys because we paid them or what? But we have to approach this thing not just from one place. It got to be a 2 to 3 prong approach to this offseason, man. And it's basically saying this. When you're trying to get better, leave no stone unturned. Don't just say we're good here. We've been good because you don't know how this thing going to change next year. Mm-hmm. Don't say that. So I just think that we gotta actually invest. And I was telling Big Time this too. We're gonna know something early on if they handle free agency like they handled free agency all these years before. Because Joe, one of the things that you texted that you want to talk about some Stephen Jones's interview, and it's the things that and I went back and listened to it because I heard snips of it, but then when you told me, I went back and listened to it. And Joe and Cowboy Joe, we're gonna let you introduce that whenever it comes back around to you, but we'll talk about it then.
And go ahead. Let me say this, and I'll just kind of feed off of both of y'all. I'll start with B-Bird since that's the freshest one. You gotta have players, man. This is a players league. I don't care who your coach is. We'll use Bill Belichick, for instance. Bill Belichick is known probably as the greatest coach of all time. However, when Brady left, he's the greatest coach of all time, but he ain't win. I mean, he ain't get close to winning when Brady left. So that's what they'll let you know. Players. When Brady left to go to Tampa, Tampa wasn't thought about as no Super Bowl contender. Brady show up, the Bucks win the world championship. Players. Get it done. What B. Bird was saying, even though there's not a first team All-Pro with the New England Patriots, but when you look at the collection, and this is something that me and Marlon talked about yesterday, the Patriots did not go and get practice squad guys.
That's right.
They went and got bare minimum solid guys and up. Yeah. Solid, then maybe a borderline Pro Bowl player. Then they did have a Pro Bowl player with Gonzalez, the cornerback there. So it's even though you got a collection of good guys, they're players though. And so that's the mentality that we have. We like to, as I always have said, when it comes to matter of free agency, we do it for depth. We don't do it for impact. And that is the difference. That's the reason why the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Because not only do they have a great coach, the coach realized we got to go get some players. And you can't argue with the system. They're in the Super Bowl. Number two, and this really don't have nothing to do with the field, but you also have to have some good coaches. We found that out with Eberflus, at least coaches that know what to do. So it works hand in hand. Nope, let me tell you this, man. I don't know if you know about it, but I'll let you in on it. We already know Christian Parker, who's 34 years old, is a fraternity brother of ours. There was a hiring that went on. His name is Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith is our new defensive back coach.
Yeah.
Who is Ryan Smith? Ryan Smith crossed with me, Kappa Alpha Psi, in Indianapolis, Indiana. We are Sands. I've already reached out to him.
Wow.
He's younger than us, so we got two noobs on staff now.
Wow. So
Kappa Alpha Psi is slowly but surely taking over. Ryan Smith coached the secondary of the Arizona Cardinals last year. When we crossed, he was playing at William and Mary. He was a cornerback there. And let you in on this, William and Mary is the university where Mike Tomlin crossed Kappa. Wow. And Ryan Smith, Coach Tomlin saw him. Let me just put it that way. When he had some dealings with him. So look, I know, just meeting Ryan back in Indianapolis, then of course since then a few conversations and all that type of stuff. I reached out to him, hadn't gotten an answer yet, but he knows exactly what it is. So who knows? This thing may crank up for real before it's over with. But I'm so happy. Number one, just that a guy that I know for real or met is on the staff of the Cowboys, and now I got two fraternity brothers leading the charge to bring the defense back. So I just want to throw that in. Y'all may say, well, forget all that. No, I can't forget it. I got two frat brothers there, so I'm all in for my guys. And I know he can coach. Buda Baker, the safety for the Cardinals, love Ryan Smith. He was the secondary coach. Buda, he ain't gonna say he made. Buda was already Buda Baker. But anytime a superstar player gives credit to a coach, that ought to tell you something. So, and he's younger than Christian Parker. So just on that note, I got to say this, and then I'll move on. I got to give Jerry and Steven credit. I got to. Because they're doing something that they don't do. And that is they're getting out the way so far. I can't get too happy, but so far, they're bringing on coaches. I'm talking about young coaches. They've never done this except back when Jimmy was the coach. No, they've never done this. And even talking about the linebacker coach from Pittsburgh who hadn't came yet, or even Zach Orr. Zach Orr. Even if he comes, this will be a staff, man, that Jerry and Steven really don't have nothing to do with. So I give him credit for letting Schottenheimer and Christian Parker do their thing so far. This is what we're not used to this, and it's shocking to me. So is there a change? So far, 1,000,000% yes. But we're getting ready to enter that spot now, where this is turning to Jerry and Steven show, and this is why I always say where they usually mess stuff up. Yeah. So free agency, contract disputes, all that. This is when they mess it up. So, but as for now, so far, I salute Jerry and Steven for doing exactly what they say. Go ahead, Joe. Or getting out the way at least.
I think the tipping point is going to be the Pickens negotiation. That's where Jerry can still come in and mess this thing up. And the agent for Pickens is a nuke as well, David Mulugeta. I've actually met him, and he's a young guy too, from University of Texas. He got, I think he got 2 degrees from there. But to go back to your point, B-Bird, I think what I'm trying to do, my grandson, he's watching a lot of animated stuff, and I was like, you need to start watching superheroes and Super Friends and all of that, kind of get that going. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to build a super team, B-Bird. So if we get to that 12 pick and we haven't traded it for Max Crosby, if Love, the running back, is there at 12, I'm taking him. And then what I'm gonna do, when I get off the bus, when the season starts, you're gonna have to deal with him for 2 years. We just gonna play him. He's not gonna come in and develop and all that. He'll hit the ground running. And I'm also looking at this tight end thing. This Jake Ferguson thing, it's kind of got me kind of puzzled. So if we can push him down, I'm willing to do that. So I agree with you, B-Bird. Offensively, I'm trying to keep this thing moving. I'm not satisfied with what we have. I didn't like the way Ferguson played. And I don't think the backups are so Schoon, and what's the other guy's name? Name escapes me at the moment. Brevin Spann-Ford.
Yeah.
I don't think they're it. So if I'm trying to upgrade tight end also, but going back to your point, big time, what I'm seeing is it looks like they're gonna finally start taking the safety position seriously, and they just haven't done that. So that'll be a huge step for them. If Caleb Downs is there and you don't take him, well, you're gonna be playing against him, and he's gonna be wrecking your game plan every time you play him. So I like the way this is going, and that information you just provided to us, that's really cool to know. I need to read up on him. I saw that. Is he the coach from the Cardinals, or he's from?
He was the defensive back coach of the Arizona Cardinals last year. I got something. I got something somewhere. I'll send it to you.
This is really coming together.
Yeah.
I like Orr also. If he comes in as a linebacker coach, he's 33. Mm-hmm. He was the coordinator for the Ravens the last 2 years. He's from North Texas, here where we are. Mm-hmm. And kind of what I did, I just kind of went back and said to my son, this is what Jimmy did back in the day. All of Jimmy's coaches were young guys.
At the beginning, this is exactly what.
And they were college guys, mm-hmm. and they came in with their innovation and with their bravado. And we need some of that. This old school, old coach, that's not really working. It's not, you've been there and done that. Let these young guys take over. And from, it's not necessarily a black thing either. I would have been fine with
I ain't gonna say that though. I ain't gonna say that.
What's the coordinator from Denver?
Talking about
Leonard. If a mentor type, my point is, if it would have been a mentor type of coach, a young white coach, mm-hmm. that's got ideas, got innovation, I'm good with that. I'm just tired of looking at these old guys. They can't relate to these players. I really love the way this is going, especially with that information you gave me today. And one thing I was going to say real quick. So, Kels, I would like her to answer this question at some point. What I had heard was Steven was real high on Vrabel, but Jerry wasn't. That's kind of my understanding. So we'll maybe figure out what's happening there if that really happened.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that you said that will be controversial, but it's not to me, was Jeremiah Love at 12. Let me tell you why it's not controversial to me. Caleb Downs would be, I think, because I think the gap between Caleb Downs and what we got in secondary and Love and Javonte Williams, the gap in the safety talent is huger. Is bigger. So I would definitely like Caleb Downs because what he can do, he can cover, he's rangy, he just does everything a safety's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would love for him to drop there. He may not drop, but some people will be like, why are you getting Love? Well, Love is a player, man. The thing I love about running backs, and your value is in running backs, especially in their rookie contracts, right? So how many wide receivers catch 22 passes a game? Not many, none. Mm-hmm. But a running back carries the ball 22 times a game. A running back actually has more impact on your team than a wide receiver. Now we'll look at the numbers and the fantasy football that's skewed and all that kind of stuff. But running backs have always been valuable. So when they devalue the position, it's no different than a stock. You want to buy a lot of the stock when it's cheap. So your backfield every year ought to have a 1,200-yard capable dude, like 3 of them. I mean, you could do that, or 2 of them at least, and then you just draft another one. Why? Because to have 2 guys in there is only going to cost you half of a CeeDee Lamb's contract.
Yeah.
And we talk about 2 guys that could actually get 1,200 yards and 10 double-figure touchdowns, just like what Javonte did. So with Jeremiah Love, definitely, hey, if he's there, some people might be like, oh man, we need to do this, we need to do that. And I can argue that point, but I can understand that point and appreciate that point. But I'm telling you that Jeremiah Love, when I see him play, that's a backpack, man. And he played against top-notch competition. And he's coming to a team that has a pretty good line. I know our interior is outstanding. Our tackles are the ones that are kind of questionable, but run blocking ain't it for Steele. And so I could definitely see that move with Love, and they'll catch a lot of flack behind it, but it wouldn't be for me. Like, it wouldn't be for me. I'll be like, I like that pick.
This is where the history of the Cowboys come into play, and it's also common sense kind of mixed into it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If there's a decision that's made on Terrence Steele as far as cutting him, you lose, and I don't care what you feel about Steele. The bottom line is you're losing your starting right tackle. And I don't think that Nate Thomas is the answer. So when you're talking about spending money on a lineman, you're not going to do it in free agency because it's going to cost you too much to get a tackle.
Yeah.
The history of the Cowboys is to draft first-round offensive linemen. That's the history. If Steele is cut before the draft, I would not be surprised, and actually I wouldn't be mad if the Cowboys at 12 pick an offensive tackle who should be there. The kid from Miami comes to mind.
Yep.
Later on in the first round, we're going to have a first-round grade is going to be Proctor, a right tackle from Alabama who played with Booker. They're all going to be, he'll definitely be there at 20, if we are drafting. And I wouldn't be surprised. It just don't, common sense tell you that's what the Cowboys would do. So a lot of the draft, as far as even pick 20, is going to be based off of what you see, again, what B. Bird said earlier, in free agency. In the case of Jeremiah Love, they quick to say we take the best player off the board. Well, at 12, Jeremiah Love, just about in every publication, is a top 10 pick for some reason. And if he is there, well, that's going to be tied to Javonte Williams, who they say they want back, but because Javonte Williams has earned a raise, we don't quite know what that raise may be. And if Javonte, we talking about a cheap Cowboy team that let go of Rico for $2 million, who wasn't gonna be no big deal. I'm not saying Javonte is gonna ask for no $6 or $7 million, but if that is if he asks for, I think he ain't gonna sign for $5 at least, because he deserves a raise now. Then what do you do then? Just because you want him back don't mean you ain't gonna pay the price. So we just don't know what the price for Javonte really is at this point. But if it doesn't, then Love is there. But again, the history of the Cowboys say that they will never do a first round pick on a running back after Ezekiel Elliott. They just not gonna do that no more.
I give you another history of the Cowboys.
Go ahead.
They've nenever won a Super Bowl without a Hall of Fame running back.
I agree.
So
I agree. I love Love. I think he can come in and tear places up, tear some people up. To be honest with you, so I just don't think they would do that. I think they really locked in on that. But why not do it? Why not look? Let's get greedy. Shoot, go ahead and draft Love anyway. You talking about a 1-2 punch? Hello.
I was getting ready. Big time. I was getting ready to get into that. I was going to say that. Look, Devontae's contract is so low. It's not like the decision of signing Pickens because we got CeeDee Lamb, two $30 million dudes. No, we're talking about a rookie contract, and we're talking about a guy that may make $5 to $6 million a year for 2 years. Contract 2 years.
He might just do 5-4.
It could be. Yeah, so that's really in the grand scheme of contracts, left tackles, quarterbacks, franchise wide receivers, defensive ends. That contract is minuscule versus those contracts. So
and then you'll get Love. Let me add to it. Then you get Love on a rookie deal.
That's what I said, on a rookie deal.
You get 2 quality running backs for less than what? $9 million a year.
$9 million, yeah.
It's probably cheaper than that. I just threw that out there. And then you get to keep him for 5 years.
Correct.
Because the first round pick is a 5-year contract.
Correct. Yeah.
So, come on now. Get greedy. You know what I'm saying? And let me throw this in. I'm sorry. And Joe, I'm coming back. This the reason why you may need to get somebody like a Jeremiah Love, a weapon. Because a lot of the reason why we were so good on offense is because it was Schottenheimer's real first year calling plays. Now, if you don't think that all these coordinators, defensive coordinators, aren't going to be sitting around looking at film all summer long, trying to figure out Schottenheimer, trust me, it may not be as smooth as it was this year. I'm just saying. Yes, it's kind of like Washington. Everybody went crazy with Daniel's rookie year. Daniel's rookie year. You see how that tightened up real quick. Y'all remember how everybody talk about C.J. Stroud in his rookie year at Houston? Oh, my God. I ain't heard nothing from Stroud ever since. You see what I'm saying? So the team, these coordinators are too good. They going to lock in on Schottenheimer. Notice all the talent. Look at all the motions and all that. They gonna lock in. I'm not saying we're going to go to work. I'm just saying it may not be as smooth as it was this year. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
So the scenario I gave you guys, I've been looking at some mock drafts, and I looked at a couple this week. We got to 12. Everybody else was gone but him. And so one of the mock drafts I saw, they got the Cowboys taking Kedrick Falk at 12. If you got a choice between Kedrick Falk, the defensive end from Auburn, and Love, I'm just taking Love and piggyback on what you guys are saying. I'm making you stop both of them. You for 60 minutes, we running the ball down your throat. When Love come off the field, my other running back is coming on, and you're gonna just have to deal with them, and you're gonna have to stop them. And then we're gonna throw the ball too. And going back to Steele, I don't think you're improving your team cutting still. I just don't.
I think you ought to keep them together. I think you ought to keep the offense together.
What I look at is when you go back and look at the Philadelphia game and the Kansas City game, we won those 2 games back to back and still was fine. Still has problems when you're throwing the ball 40 times. And Tyler Guyton does too, by the way. So no, you're not improving your team cutting still. But what I'm trying to do, guys, I'm just looking at these scenarios. There's some scenarios where we just get wiped out and there's nobody there but Love, or there's nobody there but the corner from LSU. I just want the Cowboys to take the best player, whatever position, and don't reach and end up with somebody like Taco. That's a problem. So yeah, I'm looking at a lot of these scenarios. We're on the edge of being wiped out. Now, if you trade back, okay, that's fine. You got to have somebody to trade with. But in this other draft I saw, they got us taking either Sonny Styles or CJ Allen at 20. I'm good with that. So at the end of the day, guys, just take the best player. And then I want to ask you guys this. How many more years does Dak have? Do you think he has 2 or 3? Realistically.
In his prime?
No, with his contract and everything before they either cut him or trade him.
They really it's 2. That 3rd year, they can go and do some business. They can do some stuff with him as far as getting rid of him. I say 2.
I think it depends on, how he performs and how far the team goes. I mean, if in 2 years we're in the NFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl, I mean, it's going to be hard to be like, well, we're going to leave. No. If he's still playing at the top level and we're moving and going farther as a team, then you keep it together. You know what I'm saying? These quarterbacks are playing with Tom Brady and what he did. These quarterbacks are playing a lot longer than what they did back in the days, man.
Yeah, I just think that you just keep building this team, and you look at the next 2 years with Dak in his prime. If it goes past that, great. At the end of the day, you just build a good team.
But my only push, no, it's not a pushback, observation. Now I say that. My observation is that, as I said to B-Bird, this team really is too good to have a 7-9 record. The defense was horrible, but I think that was primarily coaching. I said all that to say that you're not going to get this opportunity again. I don't think that we're going to be 7-9, 6-10, none of that no more. The chance of you getting 2 picks in the first round, whether you use them or trade one or trade both and get somebody, you're not going to get this opportunity again. It'll be a while before you get this type of thing. And then when you mix that up with the money, we looked at it last night. Dak Prescott, I wasn't on the show, but I was watching the brothers, Boss and all them. Dak Prescott cap is $74 million if they don't do nothing. You know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to restructure his deal. CDs is over 30. They're not going to do that. They're going to restructure both of them deals. They're going to free up a whole lot of money just with those 2. They cut Steele, that's I think $13 million. It's some other guys. Once they added it up, it was almost about $80 million worth. So let me tell you something. This is why I'm saying it's rare. You're gonna have draft capital. No, you don't have nothing in the 2nd and 3rd round, but them 2 first-round picks are huge. You got all this money for free agency. You can create that. You got to go ahead and put your foot down now. If you're talking about winning a world championship or at least being a foundation, it's now. You got to do it now while you got all this working for you. The salary cap, me and B-Bird was just saying it, it's going up this next season to over $300 million. I think it's 302 to 305.
I looked at 305.
305. Come on now. You're gonna have plenty of money that you can work with, and there's no excuses saying you gotta worry about the pie and who's got the biggest part of the pie. No matter where y'all at now. You ain't got no excuses no more. This is why I'm talking about Jerry and Steven messing stuff up. I don't want to hear none of that. Yeah. The money is there. And I want to be honest, when you look at the draft class or free agents, it's really not that strong. It's really not. You got some real solid guys now. You do have a couple guys that say like, oh, okay, yeah, that guy there make a difference. It's only about 2 of them, 2 or 3, that can really make a real big impact. Everybody else is kind of like a complimentary piece, but they're real good complimentary pieces. But if you want to win a world championship, this offseason is almost kind of like a foundational thing. Like what we talking about 3-4 years from now, we're gonna come back to this offseason here and say, okay, this was the beginning of what we're seeing now.
So one of the things I mentioned earlier was New England Patriots signings. I'll tell you who they were. Stephon Diggs, we all knew what kind of wide receiver he was. He paid off for him. But the one that I kept an eye on, because we probably could have signed him last year, but we signed Osa, Milton Williams.
Yeah.
He showed up, man. Big time for them. Woo. Then they had Carlton Davis at cornerback.
Big.
Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, Morgan Moses starting offensive tackle for them.
Guys,
Mac Hollins, Austin Hooper at tight end, Joshua Dobbs as a backup quarterback. But what that says is these guys, most of these guys, there's like 11 guys on here. 9 of them or 8 of them made impacts. You know what I'm saying? And 3 or 4 of them was like pretty much Pro Bowl level players, man. Mm-hmm. And so they not only got their head coach, Vrabel, but they also gave Vrabel some players. And I just named some of those guys. One of the things that I heard, thanks Cowboy Joe for just bringing me to go listen to a 10-minute interview from Stephen Jones. They asked him about free agency and was it going to be a different, I can't remember what the wording was, what the question was. They basically asked him, are they going to try to tackle some needs before they get to free agency? And Joe, if you heard the interview, he said, yeah, we're going to do like we always do. You know, we tackle needs and then we go to the draft and be able to kind of this draft. I was like, I actually, my face actually did this. If nobody was like, I was like, what? No, you never really do that, right? You've never really tackled your needs in free agency. Now you might get a linebacker, but that's not upgrading the position. That's kind of like getting somebody a body in there or something like that. Okay, like Kenneth Murray. You didn't necessarily upgrade that position. You just got somebody in there that can play the position. And so depth. Yeah, that kind of disturbed me a little bit when he said that, because that's kind of myopic for him to be thinking that that's what y'all do. Y'all don't do what I just read off what New England did. Y'all don't do that. And so free agency is going to tell us a lot of things about the way they approach this thing and the way they handle the Pickens negotiation. If they handle that, if they come in and handle that thing quietly with some dignity, which is what I always accuse them not doing with certain players, they don't have a dignified approach to it. If they handle it with some dignity, I'm good with that. I'm saying they change it a little bit.
And the dignity, I want to see Christian Parker's press conference, and Jared needs to show some dignity in their press conference. I'll come in there with this guy's family there and do the kind of stuff he normally does. I want to talk about Seattle. I saw this stat the other day. It's an amazing stat. In the last 30 years, they have made it to 4 Super Bowls. And I had to think about it. I knew it was 2. You know, you had the one they won with Russell Wilson, and they lost the one. They're going this year. And then the other one was they lost to the Steelers. And so the Seattle Seahawks have rebuilt their team 3 or 4 times in the last 30 years. And then you're talking about New England guys, and look at what they've done. And so I'm still just wondering, to your point, B-Bird, they should have somebody at the Star right now in the office studying what Seattle and New England did and implement that. And that's what the guy that owned the company that I work for, Fred Smith with FedEx, he was always looking at what other companies were doing. You know, we were a giant, but he would just look at the small companies and say, this company right here is doing this. We're going to do it. I need you to tell me how you're going to do it, and I'm going to give you a deadline to do it. And we did that all the time. So I'm wondering if there's somebody at the Star looking at New England, looking at Seattle, looking at these teams. And it's a rhetorical question, because I don't think there is big time. And that's the problem.
It's not, and because this is where I keep saying all the time, and I hate to be repetitive, but there's always a point in the off season. It's like somebody is driving, and then you have to move out the driver's seat to get the passenger side. Right after the season, whoever the head coach is, there's firings. This is where they do the driving. Jerry and Steven be on that boat, that yacht. You don't hear nothing from them until right around the Senior Bowl time, and it's time for them the staff to come down, and then here comes Steven. Look at the pattern. Shotty done great so far this offseason as far as I'm concerned. He picked Christian Parker. Christian Parker bringing in guys you ain't never heard of, young guys. Most people like that change. Good. Then you hear Steven. And here we go. The same mentality. Free agency, what you just heard B-Bird talk about. You heard the same mentality. To answer your question, Joe, no, there ain't nobody in the building. Because even if it was, at some point, you got to go to Jerry and Steven. If Jerry and Steven ain't on their same page, you wasting time. They are committed to doing it their way. And what I've always said is, that's why we need all of the talent. That if the talent is so good, then it can override the bad front office decisions or bad coaching or whatever the case may be. Your players are so good on Sunday or Monday or Thursday that it will, Schottenheimer may call a bad call, but the talent level is so good, it's 3rd and 12, and Schottenheimer will call a screen instead of pushing the ball downfield. But yeah, you threw it to the back, but the back is so great that he broke one tackle. Now he done took a screen and done put it for 30 yards. Well, that's the talent overriding the call. Everybody say the call's supposed to be throw the ball downfield. That's where we are, because Jerry and them gonna mess up. They're not gonna, I don't want to do it, but maybe there's a big change going on. When we started talking about free agents, B-Bird said, we'll know something. What B-Bird say? He said, in the first week of free agency. Well, what does the history say about the Dallas Cowboys in the first week of free agency? They never shop.
They on vacation.
They exactly. So they don't really get bids until day 12, day 13. That's when they get bid in the free agency. What we're saying is, look, go ahead and stack the deck. Why you got the opportunity? You got the money. Come on now. You got a high draft pick. You got 2 picks in the first round. Go ahead and stack the deck so you can try to catch up with look. You just said something, Joe. Seattle. I'm gonna throw the Rams in.
Rams, absolutely.
Okay. On a lesser note, I even throw maybe the Buccaneers in. Buccaneers pretty much have been kind of like this. They kind of standard.
The 49ers, Eagles.
49ers and the Eagles. Okay, stop right there. Go to the AFC. Buffalo, Baltimore, I ain't gonna say Baltimore, Kansas City. Yeah. Those are 3. All right. I just named 7 teams. This is what I want to tell you. The Dallas Cowboys are the greatest franchise in sports. Whatever sport you come with, the money speaks for itself. When we say the greatest franchise, what that means is a mixture. The sport you play, the marketing, the exposure, of course, the revenue that you make. The Cowboys are second to none. Whatever sport you want to go, is soccer, baseball. The Dodgers can't touch them. The Yankees can't touch them. The Lakers can't touch them. The Celtics can't touch them. Whatever. They are the greatest franchise in sports. But here's the part, though, that nobody want to say. But when it comes to football, the Dallas Cowboys are not even in the top 10. And that is the truth. They haven't been in the top. I got teams that done put laps around them now. Yeah. The New England Patriots.
That's a lap.
Have put a couple of laps around them. The Kansas City Chiefs, laps, plural. Buffalo is there most of the time, even though they ain't been to the Super Bowl, but they're usually right there in the AFC Championship game or division round, no question. They ran laps around the Cowboys. I mean, the Eagles, I hate to say it, the Eagles have ran laps around the Cowboys. It really is. Even though we beat them, but when it's all said and done at the end, the Eagles go farther than the Cowboys the last 5-6 years. I mean, it's just the truth. And Jerry ain't pissed off enough. That's what I want to say.
Yeah,
Jerry's not pissed off enough to make sure that changes. If he don't have Jimmy's attitude, that's what the problem is. Yes, we are the number one franchise in the business, but when it comes to football, Sundays, Thursdays, and Monday nights, we are in this same spot, and I can name 6 or 7 franchises that have been consistent over the last 10 years, and the Cowboys not even close to it.
So I wanted to refer back to something Joe said when he was talking about the FedEx, and it's called best practices, right, Joe?
That's what it was.
So when FedEx and UPS are competing against each other, you have to find the best practices to get on top. Okay, so here's the deal. I work at a refinery. I won't mention it, but it's a major refinery, and so we have a structure that's, we go all the way up to the CEO, right? But people think that the CEO doesn't have anybody over them. Can I tell you who's over the CEO? Our stock price. Our stock price is what's the head of everything. And so if that stock price is going down, then that CEO job's in jeopardy, right? So they don't have the arrogance to say, I can see what this other, or let's go back to FedEx. Man, UPS doing this and they successful at it, but we gonna do it our way. No, because whoever that CEO is, if they don't do the best practices, they're gonna get run up out of there. And y'all know where I'm going. They don't have the right, they want to keep their job, they got to get best practices. They got to always be doing it. And they putting the pressure on y'all to actually get that at y'all job, Cowboy Joe, to enact it. Why? Because if it's something better to do out there, let's do it. Mm-hmm. If we're doing it a different way and somebody's doing it better, let's do it. Why? Because all our jobs depend on it. I'm going back to the point y'all know I'm finna make. The Joneses' job don't depend on it. And that's the issue, man. And I'm going to pivot for a moment here. And that's why I'm going to go into Will McClay. Because what I'm going to say about Will McClay has nothing to do with his ability to do his job. What it is I don't know what his job responsibility is. And he, too, is almost in that he's not a Jones, but I don't see where he would ever get fired for putting together a list of free agency and list of draft picks and letting everybody else pick them. I don't see why he would get fired, but I also don't see, like, whenever you don't have that, my whole train of thought is this: if you don't have the threat of losing your job, it's kind of hard to be better than a person that does have the threat of losing their job.
It's hard to give your best.
It's hard to give your best. Like, I'm not. Hey, guess what I'm going? I'm going from 8 to 4, and I'm going home. If I can't lose my job, if I can lose my job, my productivity low, I gotta stay. I gotta call my wife up. Hey, baby, I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be there at 4, but these people on my butt. I gotta stay here till at least 7 o'clock, do some more work. Why? Because I'm still trying to provide for y'all. And so that's what it is, man. When you don't have the threat of losing your job, and I don't think Will McClay actually has the threat of losing his job. That's just me, man. I don't see where they're gonna be like, Will, but you screwed that up. Screw what up? What is he over? Besides getting together a list of players and maybe levels of whoever, the draft or whatever. But the Joneses and other people are going to pick. Now, he might have something in there, but he's not holding a gun to their head. He's not making a pick and having to stand behind the picks. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's my deal. I would like for somebody, that's my deal with Will McClay. Because I think what he does is he's good enough to prop up the organization with good picks, but he don't have enough power to bring in the guys that he really want to bring in to veto and somebody else, because, hey, this is me. I'm the GM. If this doesn't work, you can get rid of me, but this is what I think you ought to get. But that's not what's going on, man.
So the concern I have with Will is just this. So we know that he's kind of in some cases, especially when it comes to pro personnel, he's kind of fighting with one hand tied behind his back. That's just a fact. My thing is, you're in charge of the draft, putting the draft board together. Jerry and Steven are not watching film. They're not out scouting. They're not doing that. What they do is they come in when everything is put together, and what they do, we've seen it live and in person. They pretty much go to the board. They'll call some coaches in, this and that. My issue with Will McClay is you are a draft and develop team. Your piece of the pie is the draft. And when you look at our draft and just look at the players, I just don't believe that Jerry and Steven are picking these players. They didn't pick Schoonmaker. They didn't pick Mozzie. Just go back and look at some of the players that we've acquired. I just need to, and I saw Will McClay's interview the other day as well, B. Bird. When I saw it, it was the same thing we've seen 100 times. He just says the same thing every time. So now he's got a new coach. He's going to try to get some players for the coach and be in alignment with them. I just need him in the draft, put a draft board together. When it's time for us to pick, we looking at killers. We looking at ballers. We ain't taking nobody that's gonna come in here. We don't know if they love football or if they gonna hang around, if they don't develop. Man, we do not have time for that. So I would like to learn more about it, what he does, big time. Kels gave us some insight the other night. It absolutely helped. And so I just want to just know, okay, when we put a draft board together, what's happening with our scouting? How are these players getting on the draft board? That's kind of my question, big time.
You got the scouts that fly out during the year, different sections of the year, watch games and write those down, report it. He to his credit, he runs a pretty good scouting department. But as you said, the problem is not with the scouting department. The real problem is with the general manager, because he's totally dependent on Will and the scouting department. However, if you had a real football guy there, then his interjection would have more value. So your question is not really with Will. My question would be is, who said that Schoonmaker should be drafted in the second round? That's the scout.
Yeah.
That's really not, Will is involved in that. Jerry ain't got nothing to do with that. Jerry, as a general manager, because of the way things are set up, because B. Bird just told you, and it's the truth. Jerry, as a general manager, is not looking at no film. He's not looking at no hand placement. He's not looking at he's not doing that. Just not Jerry Jones. So he's going off those guys. My question is, who in the world said that this dude should have a second round grade? Schoonmaker. So again, it's messed up once it gets into the hands of Jerry, and then Jerry says that the buck stops with him. Well, how in the world you gonna have the buck gonna stop with you when you don't know nothing?
Yeah.
So
you're leaning on them. You still don't know nothing. You're leaning on them. You see what I'm saying? You don't know nothing.
Yeah.
You're just saying, okay, y'all, what you think? Okay, I got one vote here. What you think? Okay, that's 2-1. Okay, what you think? You got the other guy. Okay, we got a majority rule here. Okay, I got to make decisions. I'm gonna go with the majority, and there your pick is right there.
Yeah.
But my thing with Will, we'll go to you, B. Bird. He is the football guy. That's his piece of the pie. He's in charge of. He's the head of scouting. It's his group. So he's the football guy. It's not Jerry. It's not Steven. So my question is, when you look at our draft boards over the last 10, 15 years, I don't know how long he's been there, but he is the football guy. So when you put a draft board together, you're the head of scouting. how are we putting a draft board together that puts Steven and Jerry, and answer your question about Schoonmaker, what happened with that draft? McCarthy wanted a tight end. I don't know why.
No, that's what happened.
I still ain't figured that out. I ain't figured it out yet. We can ask Kells about it.
You moved him up.
What happens? And what happens, Joe? What happens when McCarthy wants tight end? But Will wants this defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Who gonna win?
So they're gonna win that.
That's a problem with your structure. They've kind of been all over they've been all over the place with it. So in that draft, McCarthy wanted a tight end, and so because Will was able to trump him and take Mozzie, they came back in the second round and said, okay, McCarthy, we're gonna give you a tight end, so just pick one. That's what happened.
So let me, while it's hot on my head, let me throw this in then. And B-Bird, I'm gonna throw it to you on this one, okay? Cause I don't want the chat think we just complain. We trying to figure things out here. If y'all ain't noticed, I think we already figured it out.
Yeah.
But what's the solution? Here's the solution. What's the chance of this happening?
I already know.
Well, you done let Schottenheimer run the show so far, right? How about you go with that football guy and Will? Why don't you let Schottenheimer, because he's watching film. Schott and Christian Parker, they're watching. And since they're running their offense and their prospective defense, how about you say, let the battle come there and then let Will come in and y'all just sit there and just hold back and just wait until they figure this thing out. It's called a war room. It's for something. Everybody ain't gonna agree with everything. I'm saying let some of that power go to the football people. Your football people in there is Will, Schottenheimer, Parker, and the position coaches. That's the football people in the building. Not your listen, y'all. Do you know that Jerry Jones asked his grandson about DeMar and Overshawn?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And you said let's take him based off of what your grandson said? That's come on now.
So you're absolutely right. And so when you say Will McClay, the head coach, just so that'd be Will McClay, the head coach who's the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, are to get together and almost get the board together and all that. So what you're saying is they should run it like a regular team runs it. And that's what you're saying. That's what a regular team
like Seattle does.
And so that's what
yeah, like Kansas City does.
Yeah, like everybody else
too. The Patriots. So let's just do that.
I'm dead.
And I can B-Bird, I can get a high schooler from down the street to figure this out. It's not that complicated, but they don't do it.
So one thing I've always thought about, and I don't know if y'all have ever heard this before,
Big
man.
You all right over there? Yeah, man. It's just that simple. But they don't do it though, guys. It's that simple. It's really that simple.
It's the way B-Bird said that. That was beautiful. The way you dropped that in your lap, that was beautiful.
And they ain't figured it out yet.
Hey, so one of the things I've always listened to on 105.3, when they talk about Jerry and making the draft, they always talk about him doing it as a team effort. I never thought that was a positive. I think that a GM should be there to have his thought processes, study the people, look at the draft board, talk to his scouts, and have his mindset on something. That don't mean he can't be swayed, but it should never be just what you said, big time. 3 people over here, 2 people over there, 3 people win. It should never be that because you have no knowledge.
If it's Belichick doing it, I ain't got no problem with it.
Yeah, me either.
Because I know he a football guy.
Yeah,
I know what he doing. He watching stuff. He watching film. Man don't go to sleep. Long as it's a football guy doing it. But if you're a football guy opposing as the football guy / general manager, but your whole thing is dependent upon other folks.
Yeah.
And then you're split. Then you calling your grandson to get his into it, who ain't got nothing to do with this stuff. then we got a problem, as Cowboy Joe just said, with structure.
Yes.
And the structure is off. So the solution is, since we got the same faces, you got to change the system. And the only thing that I can see is that you have to let the football people, the ones that are watching film, the ones that are scouting, know what to look for to fit their system. Let them, give them just a little bit. Yeah, you're going to sign the check. Yeah, you're going to turn the card in. But your system should only be with really 3 people. That is it. Will, Schottenheimer, Christian Parker. They should be sitting right beside, since we seen what the war room looked like. Jerry Stevens sitting right there. Will is on the phone on the other side. Right beside Jerry Stevens should be Schottenheimer, Christian Parker. And it shouldn't be too much more talking after that. Seriously. That's how you solve the problem. At least since you ain't changing the faces, since ain't nobody got no new responsibilities, since Jerry gonna be the owner / GM, Steven gonna be the vice president of personnel or whatever, and Will has got, since that ain't changing, some inside has to change in order to get the players. A real general manager would say, hey man, look here. Look, we ain't had no pass rush. Okay? We know that when you have a pass rush, it speeds up the quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay. A real general manager would say, okay, Coach Parker, what kind of defense are you running? Are you running a 3-4 like everybody say, or are you going to be multiple? If Christian Parker say we multiple, then right then and there, as a general manager, I'm saying, Jerry, I'm sorry, Doc. We need this pass rusher. We're going to get Hendrickson. We don't care how old he is. The idea with Hendrickson, Quentin Williams, Osa, and Kenneth Clark together is a scary front four. You need to go in and get this guy. When he plays, he's 35 minutes. Look, Jerry, stop it. Stop. We ain't got time for this. Let's sign him up. We're going to work with it from there. That's what a real general manager would do. What Jerry and Steven do, though, this when they mess it up, I can get 3 players, 35 million. And I can get it done. That's what he did this year. Fowler, Sam Williams, the kid Houston, 3 or 4 players, and what it gets you?
Yeah,
Clowney. See that you know, and they played. Some of them played pretty good, but I'm saying, look where you at, 32nd in the league. Go ahead and get some dudes, man. You say you got with a 2-3 year window. It's time for dudes now, not depth guys. I want main event guys. I don't want no preliminary guys. You know, like in wrestling, you know who the main event was. Y'all old enough, y'all in Texas. Devon Eriks. Devon Eriks was the main event. Man, I don't want to see these janky guys in the middle. I'm here for the main event. I don't want no preliminary guys. That's what I'm saying. Hendricks is one of those names that can make a difference. Mega Fitzpatrick is another guy that can make a big difference back there. Go ahead and lock some of these guys up. If Christian Parker won't listen, and Christian, look, you did it with Zimmer, with Eddie Kendricks. You let Eberflus bring in Sanborn. If Parker says, I want Nakobe Dean, give him Dean. If he says he want Blankenship, give him Blankenship. You did it with everybody else. Do it with him.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And one more thing I want to say, man, about Will McClay, and I'll let you go, Cowboy Joe. He said something that stayed with me, man. Stephen Jones always say something. Jerry say something that stayed with me, but he said something that I totally disagree with, and I ain't liked it. It just set a bad tone. He said, if you pick them, you got to play them. I'm like, no, you do not. If you pick somebody that's just saying, that shows the politics of it, right? Yeah. And I was like, no, if you pick somebody in the 3rd round and they not playing well, you got to play them?
It's their loyalty to a contract or a draft pick. Yeah. Wherever you draft, that's their loyalty.
That's right.
What's
going on, Joe?
And that just goes back to your scouting, and it goes back to your board you're putting together. You need to put players on your board. You pick them in the 3rd round. they really should be playing. And of course, if they don't, like you said, you just move on. But man, it's some really. So my son and I, we go back and forth on this. You know, he's a fourth generation. I'm third generation. He really feels that coaches should pick the players. I think it should be the GM, and then sometimes it kind of needs to be a meeting of the minds. I think the good teams, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Eagles, they have a good football guy. That's a GM. I think Will McClay could be that guy on the draft. But I just think that when he puts his board together, I just like, it's like, how did this person get on your board? And then I wanted to mention too, going back to that 23 draft with Mozzie and Schoon, they talked about taking Overshawn in the second round, and they waited. So I think that what we got to look at is these coaches that are coming in. I'm not 100% sure, big time, that I want them picking the players. That's my son is on board with that. I just think Will McClay should just pick the players. Now, well, let me say this: Will McClay should put the board together. When they get to the pick, he should recommend who they take. And there's this thing called tags are touching, B-Bird. When you got players on the same level, they're pretty much, you got Jordan Love, you got Sonny Styles. At that point, you can at that point pick for need. I just see Dallas, they're just all over the place, man. You just don't know. You look at the draft and you say, what are they doing?
I don't think they're all over the place. I think they just on the system. For instance, if Steele is let go and you're at 12, it's just a scenario. If that kid from Miami is there, the offensive tackle, Francis Malek, whatever his name is, if he's there and you got Caleb Downs there, he's free, okay? I just stick with that. I believe Parker would say, no brainer, Downs. Mm-hmm. I believe Schottenheimer would say, no brainer, Downs. Well, I ain't gonna say that. He might have a little split. But I do know what Jerry Jones will say. Jerry Jones, we heard it for 20 years. That offensive line got to be great. That offensive line, you got to be, and their history is that they love the offensive line. And I believe Jerry would say, the idea of having this young group together, Guyton, Tyler Smith is young, BB is young, Booker is just coming off his rookie year, then you get this rookie here, and then you'll say, Jerry would say, man, I got about a 10-year vision with these guys. And I believe, in spite of you should take Downs, you would pick the offensive lineman. And the offensive lineman may work, but it's that split that we're talking about. Jerry would do it based off an idea because he played offensive line at Arkansas 75 years ago and saying that the offensive line is the key and the trenches and all that type of stuff. That's fine. But when you got a guy like Downs there, if he's there, and you know that secondary was horrible, you need some stability on there. You got some stability already on the line. You need something that's going to anchor this thing in the secondary. Downs is the pick. That's where, even though the kid from Miami would be a good pick, but it's right there, that mentality that I'm talking about is where the problem is. And that mentality has not changed because Jerry will say, not only say, hey, we got to get this offensive line, Jerry would say, hey, I just got this gut feeling and I got the last word.
Yeah, and he does have to say
he would pick the line. Exactly.
He does have to say so. And so, because now you're right about that. And I think what ends up happening with Jerry is we are under something, man, y'all. And I've thought about this before. Just in a natural progression, say we had a good GM in here, he won't be here for 30 years. He'll be here for, he has this, this crescendo, then he falls off and then he gets fired. That's what happened at every other franchise. We're talking about baseball, football, basketball, or whatever. And it's just a lifespan of a GM. Well, part of the lifespan is it refreshes. When you get a new GM, it refreshes the thought process. There's a whole guy with a whole different thought process that comes in. Well, the Cowboys have been under the same thought process over 30-some years. And so here's the deal. Things that happen, okay, so suppose the Cowboys don't want to get in free agency because of Brandon Carr, right, in 2012. They said, hey, man, we didn't do well. We signed this guy for a lot. And, he didn't really live up to his contract. Now, I think that he played well. But suppose they're saying that's the reason why we don't sign. Well, just think about the natural lifespan of a GM, probably about 6 or 7 years. We'd have had 3 or 4 GMs by then, and they would even be thinking about Brandon Carr in 2012. But since we still have the same people in there, the scars that they've accumulated over the years have changed their mindsets on things. But also some of the ways they were successful, they still believe in the success that they had in the 90s. Hey, we're going to still try to relive this. That's why the offensive line is very important to them, because when we won last, we had a great offensive line. But what I told Scott is a long time ago, that the Joneses suffer from PTSD from bad decisions, but those decisions shouldn't even be in the play, right? Because a normal GM would have been fired 3-4 times over. And just this, I don't want to say he's a bad GM. I'm saying a GM that, that ebbed and flowed and then left. We don't have anybody in the league that's even 20 years in. We got guys that have been running our team for 30 years. So I'm just make a long story short. I want to tell you all that to tell you that, yes, he believes in the offensive line, because the last time he's ever won, he had an offensive line.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that mentality is stuck in his head.
Yeah,
he's been looking for that ever since the last championship, because he knows that's what got it done. And like that's why I say they want to win their way. To forget what everybody else is doing, they want to win their way. Let me ask y'all this real quick. Let me throw my little thing in. And chat, I need your help on this. I need y'all to come in. Got 2 picks in the first round, but the next pick is in the 4th round. How many of y'all want to trade back and pick up something at least?
I know you do.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you why. And for those that haven't done it, Bieber, I don't know if you've done it on your show. Joe, I don't know if you and Jules have done it. But y'all need to do this mock draft thing. And go ahead and pick 12 and 20. And then I want y'all to see all these names that go by in the 2nd and 3rd round. And you just sitting there waiting to the 4th round. I just want you to see the quality of the players that are leaving. I'm trying to hit the home run. I'm not trying to be Pete Rose in this thing. I'm not trying to hit doubles, and I'm not trying to be the all-time hit guy. I'm trying to knock the ball 700 feet over the wall. And I feel like you need to stack the deck. You go ahead, and I ain't saying draft coming out. If you'll take this. Let's just say somebody trying to move up in the first round. They move up to take your 20, but you take their last pick in the first round. You may move down 3 or 4, but you still got the first round pick. But you also done picked up at least a 3rd round pick or a 2nd round pick or whatever. That sounds good to me. I'm sorry. I know Sonny Styles might be there at 20. That's fine. I get it. But come on now. I want to know how y'all feel about it. I'm good with either way, but I'm just saying 4th round a little bit too long for me. And somebody will say, well, you got 2 picks in the first round, so that'll count as really 2. And that's fine. But I'm trying to trade down. Especially if my guy ain't there, I'm just not picking 20 just to be picking. Yeah. If my guy ain't there, I want to know what can I get for that 20th pick. That's what I want to know.
So my concern with that is, I'll just go back to what we've been talking about. They can trade down, but it just depends on who they select. It's just when they've traded down in recent years, you've got Josh Ball, Matt Waletzko. They drafted a guy. He's in the 3rd round. His name was Viliami Fihoko.
Yeah, I remember him.
He was never active for a game. You third round pick.
No, the sad part about him was
Mm-hmm.
he was a first team All-American from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was one of the better sack guys in the country. But the problem was he was 6'3", 240 some odd pounds. And you know good and well, a right tackle gonna eat him alive. And you're right, Joe. He never got on the field.
Yeah,
that goes back. And the reason why I said that, because that is a prime example of what you just talked about, Joe. Who said that this dude should have got drafted in whatever round he did? That right there. That's perfect.
Yeah. It wasn't Jerry or Steven. So what I would like to do, and I'm not, they can just, when they trade down, when they pick, just pick up the phone and call the Steelers, not the Steelers, I'm sorry, Seattle, call New England, call the Ravens, and just say, who would y'all take right here? If they had just done that in the last several years, they have good players. Lou's takes, I really love Lou's content.
Yeah, he's good.
FYI, he doesn't like either one of the tackles. Just that's FYI.
Wait a minute, ones in the draft or our tackles?
The ones in the draft that we're talking about. He doesn't like Proctor. He doesn't like the Miami guy.
He's from Miami.
Yeah. He don't like either one of them.
And Lou played college ball. Let's throw that in. He played college ball, and he was an offensive lineman.
Yeah. So man, we doing the content now, and I'm gonna tell you this right here. And listen, I believe this. I could put Jeff Kavanaugh, Bosh Lombardi, Will Steele, Fuster King, and my son in the Cowboys war room the last 5-10 years, we would have been in a Super Bowl by now. They just they do it. If you did it on your show last night, big time. The problem is the Cowboys are not doing that. They get in the draft and they just pick players, and you just say to yourself, okay, like what happened here? How did this player get right here?
Reach.
It doesn't make any sense. They did it last year in the 5th round. We needed a running back. It was several running backs on the board. All they had to do was just take them. They traded up and took the linebacker. His name escapes me at the moment.
They reached on Mozzie.
Oh, well, definitely.
Mozzie had a second round grade.
Yeah, they reached on Mozzie. They in that draft right there.
Bad draft, man.
They liked Sam Laporta. They liked Kincaid. If they had just taken one of them, they would have been fine. Now, Sam Laporta was in the 2nd round, but they just could have took Sam Laporta where Mozzie was. And Sam Laporta right now, he's your number one tight end. Kincaid,
he's a Pro Bowl tight end.
Kincaid too. But what they did, and this is another thing that we got to talk about at some point. What they do is they're always talking, so they let everybody know what they're doing. So in that draft right there, and Kels might confirm this, everybody knew they wanted a tight end, so Buffalo jumped ahead of them and took Kincaid.
Okay, yeah.
And so when that happened, they just took Schoon, which was a really bad mistake. But this is the kind of thing they do. So Marlon, go back to he said something earlier. He said management should pick the players, and that's what I'm saying. Just let Will McClay pick the players. Let him put his board together, and then Will McClay is telling you who to draft, no matter what. If it's Proctor, if it's Love, whoever, just let him pick the player, and then Schottenheimer, whatever he does, you're just gonna go out and coach him up. That's what I would do. And then we'll know what Will McClay is doing, guys. We'll know.
So I want to ask y'all a question. Just on a regular draft, you got 1st through 7th pick, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you got one pick in every round. Just an old-fashioned regular draft.
Mm-hmm.
How many impact players do you expect to get from that draft?
Definitely 2, possibly 3.
Okay.
Round 1 and round 2 should definitely be day 1 starters.
So what about you, Cowboy Jr.? You think the same?
I think good teams, that's how they build a team. They in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, even the 5th round, good players are there. So my answer to your question is, you just have to figure out who the good players are and take them. Are you going to have some misses? Yes, you are. But the issue with them is they have way too many, and they're a draft and develop team. If you're a draft and develop team, you can't have that many misses. I'm sorry, you don't get to have your cake and eat it too. That's what you got.
So in the, because the initial question was, should we trade down? I think that it is a high success rate the higher you draft.
Yeah.
So if you want to get a success rate, that's like if I say, hey, big time, you could draft, you got all second round draft picks, I got all first round draft picks. I'm gonna hit more than you will because I'm gonna get more quality draft picks than you are, more quality people than you will.
Get the cream of the crop.
Huh?
You're gonna get the cream of the crop.
I'm getting the cream of the crop. So when you got 2 picks there, I wouldn't want to trade that back because it becomes more of a gamble the more rounds you get in. To find you can find a Tom Brady in the 7th round, but that's not how you should structure your draft. Like to find a Tom Brady in the 7th round.
I guess, and you're right, B-Bird. It's no right or wrong. I ain't got no problem with this drafting. But what I'm saying is that I just know that the Cowboys' phone is going to be ringing without a doubt for that 20th pick. Because everybody knows they don't have a 2nd and 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
And I think somebody is going to make a real nice offer that especially if they ain't locked in on a guy like, let's say for instance, most mock drafts that I've done at least, at 20, Sonny Styles has been there. A lot of people have been calling his name out. Linebacker from Ohio State.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys are not locked in on Sonny Styles and they feel like they can get a linebacker later on, maybe Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech in the 4th round, a great player, or the kid from BYU, Jack Kelly, or somebody like that you can get later. If they ain't that locked in on Styles, that somebody's gonna offer them something that I think that they ain't gonna refuse. That's just me, because I think they're gonna get greedy.
Yeah.
Which ain't a bad move. But I just know, let's just put it this way, B-Bird. You're right. Don't kill with your for sure stuff. I'm good with that. But I just feel like I know for sure somebody at 20 is going to be ringing that phone, and they going to offer the Cowboys what they don't have in this draft. Either 2nd, 3rd round pick.
Let's just take Sonny Styles versus Rodriguez. How much better is Sonny Styles than Rodriguez?
I think he's way better. I do.
I think Styles he's bigger, he's stronger, more. Both of them love contact. He's faster. He is a 1st round linebacker.
Yeah.
I don't think that Rodriguez should be, projected in the 3rd or 4th round. Rodriguez was a monster for Texas Tech. But if you had the choice, if you lined 10 people up, 10 probably gonna pick Styles before Rodriguez.
I would pick Styles, but I would be okay if we ended up with Rodriguez because he's a good player. But what the Cowboys are doing, B-Bird, before you start, what they're doing, they're passing on both. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah,
there you go.
So the reason I'm saying, because these are the margins where I think that you when you make decisions like that, like, hey, we'll pass on Sonny Styles and we'll get a Rodriguez later on. But those margins, if you make that decision about 8 times, you're getting a lesser roster. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's why when Sonny Styles there, he said, hey man, he's the best linebacker in the draft this year. But he got other guys, yeah, man, we can wait to the 3rd round and get. That's why you start making that decision. If that guy's a playmaker, you draft him.
That's the mentality.
If he's a maker, you draft him.
That's the mentality that we don't have. See what I'm saying?
I can get 3 for.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and what they've been doing, unfortunately, when they trade down, you can trade down. I'm fine with that, but you can't miss, and they miss a lot.
Yeah,
they trade down.
Yeah,
and you're just looking at the board, and you see a player right there that will be a difference maker that will start for our team in the 3rd or 4th round. And man, they turn in the pick, and you're like, nobody had this player right here. And that's what they've been doing. And I'm asking Will McClay, what is going on with your draft board, sir? It's like, how are these players on your board? Steven and Jared not putting the board together.
It's my mind go back to when you sitting right there and your choices were Taco Charlton and TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Well, y'all pick Taco.
Well, let me say this. This is where me and my son disagree. And I'm going to be 90 years old in an old folks home, and he'll be on here doing content with your son, Bryce, B-Bird. Yeah. And I'm still going to say that coaches picking players, you are asking for trouble, because what the Cowboys did, and I would love to get Kel's thoughts on this. They let Rob Marinelli, B-Bird, basically, he was the scout for 2 drafts. He told them, I don't have no need for TJ Watt. I don't like him. He doesn't fit. And they picked Taco. What should have happened there? The general manager or the head of scouting, which I believe was Will, they should have told Marinelli, we picking TJ Watt. And whether you want him or not, you may not even be here. So we picking TJ Watt, and we're going to figure out how to play him. Like, for example, Micah was picked. Rob Marinelli wouldn't have wanted anything to do with Micah. Rob Marinelli didn't want Jalen Ramsey. He didn't want him. So they didn't pick him. So that's what I'm saying. When you let coaches pick players, the coaches will pick a player and they get fired and you stuck with the player. So just let the GM pick the player and you just roll with it.
I definitely agree with the GM picking a player over the coaches. Let me tell you why. What are the coaches doing from, let's say, after the draft all the way till the playoffs? They're coaching players. What are the scouts doing in that same period of time? They're scouting players, college players. And so they don't really have the knowledge to, not saying that they don't have football knowledge. I'm saying this, they don't have the wealth of knowledge as a scout or the scout team has on these college players. They just don't have it. Why? Because they don't have the time to have it. They still got to coach the team. Yeah. The scouts are just scouting, man. That's what they do. That's their main job. And the director of scouting gathers all this information, and he's also locked into film and what this person's doing and talking to other people of the team and all that kind of stuff. So I don't believe coaches should. A coach can tell you what they need. Like, hey, man, I need defensive end that can get in there, man. Oh, I need my defensive end need to be this size, that guy, this, that. And then if you need that, then you go and do that. But beyond that, I don't think coaches just don't have the time to do that, man. To make picks with the knowledge that a scouting department has.
We've been on for an hour 32 minutes.
Yeah, great show.
Are y'all done? Because I can close real quick. Are you done, B-Bird? You got something?
We can go and close. It's up to you.
You good, Joe?
I'm good. And just real quick with Christian Parker, I don't want him to come in, a 34-year-old, just getting a job, and then they say you pick the players and then they don't work out. We got a problem there.
Yeah.
I just think that if the players are equal, if they're on an even, if their tags are touching, then defer to the coach and just say, hey, we got a need right here. We are going to listen to the coach because they're all on the same level. But that's kind of where I am on it. And I think everybody's it's not a wrong answer here. Even with my son, I tell him sometimes, coaches getting involved, that might be the way to go. It's a little bit of both, but I just want to say that.
So what you just heard probably about the last 10 to 15 minutes goes right back to what I said at the beginning. What did I say? This is the part of the off season where Jerry and Steven mess stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
You just heard at least 6 or 7 scenarios. Not with players. You heard structural issues. That's what you just heard. We got good checks on the boxes right now with Shotty, Coach Parker, getting the staff together, all that. That is no, you ain't heard no problem yet. It's right here. This spot right here. is where Cowboys start doing this. And even some folks gonna say, where's training camp? Nope. Because it's the general manager and whoever that serves the players that you got during free agents in the offseason, serves them to the players, say, okay, here your 90 players. Cut them, let's get them together and cut it down to 45 and roll. But what if you ain't got nothing but a bunch of preliminary guys that y'all gave to them? You ain't talking about no Super Bowl. You just talking about hopefully winning the division. So far, so good. It seems as if Jerry and Steven kind of took a back seat on this one. But we got our first clue with the press conference where you heard Steven say, well, we're going to do it like we usually do. Ladies and gentlemen, good God, how many years you got to keep doing before you figure out that your way ain't working? You got to change it up. And this is why, you know, I think I can speak for my brothers here. This is why we do this. This is why we looking like this. Like, we'll wait and see. Because we ain't finna get optimistic. Because we done seen it too long. B-Bird said it perfectly. I'm just like him. You want to know if something really done changed? Because we in Steven and Jerry territory. Check out the first week of free agency. Check it out. See if the Cowboys go deep sea fish hunting, or are they gonna stay on the bank and just do shallow fish?
No, you know, an all white party.
Yeah, exactly. Just see. We'll know real quick. We'll see how they do picking. Are they gonna start talking bad about them? You know, are you gonna start figuring out, oh, we ain't gonna talk to the agent because you don't like them, all that kind of stuff, because you done figure. We'll know real quick how this thing gonna turn out, and this is where stuff get messed up. And so that's really all I got to say. I'm saying the same thing until I see something different.
Yes, sir.
I'm just like this. And so right now, I'll give them their credit. But stay tuned. I'm Big Time. Y'all know where to find me. Big Time Show. Everywhere. Just look on the Big Time Show. Appreciate all you guys. Listen, we see all your comments, but I guess y'all done figured it out. We kind of like three guys just having a conversation. We see your comments. We are, maybe we have to incorporate that. Don't charge it to our head, charge it to our heart. We'll start figuring out ways to incorporate you guys. Maybe bring in the call-in line. Maybe we'll call and let that happen and do it like that, just to spice up the show. But we appreciate all you guys sitting here with us for these hour and a half or whatever. Just hang with us. Thank you guys. Turn it over to Joe.
Man, this has just been another great show. I mean, we doing it every Friday. We just knocking out of the park the way I see it. So our show is called Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talk, or you can just type in F as in Frank, A, S as in Sam, Cast, and find us there. I do a show with my son. So I'm a third generation Cowboy fan. He's fourth generation. So we just do that show together, and we're trying to grow our channel. So go over to our channel and subscribe, and check us out there, and then follow these two brothers here. Go check out B-Bird Show and subscribe to his, and then we'll just come back and just keep doing good content from an OG standpoint.
Love it.
Hey, it's a great time, man. Friday nights. I look forward to these Friday nights to hang out with you guys, man. Just talk Cowboy football with guys that are just as passionate about me in our quest for six, man. So I just appreciate y'all having me on, man. This has been a dream for me. And just to be on with you guys is great, man. So everybody out there, y'all can follow me on B-Bird Cowboys on Twitter and YouTube. I'm going to be doing a show tomorrow.
Get stuck.
Intro.
Go ahead, B-Bird. Say it again.
Okay, I said I'm going to do a show tomorrow, if only to show my intro that my daughter Brianna did for me, and so I'm gonna show that off a little bit, and I'm gonna do a show tomorrow at some point in time, man. So I'll be keep tuned. I'll be doing more shows.
Awesome. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for hanging with us. We'll see you guys together. Let something happen. We'll be together again with you guys next Friday. But in the meantime, I'm quite sure everybody you see here, as you heard Joe and B-Bird say, be doing their individual shows sometime this week. So, of course, like and subscribe. And that way, and turn on those live notifications. That way you don't miss anybody. Okay, until next week, y'all. We out of here. This has been the one and the only. This has been the Cowboys OG Podcast. We out.
Have a good one, guys.